Hello, this is a Chappell baby grand piano, 150 centimetres long, 4 foot 11 inches, made in 1935, and we're fully restoring it for a client. Just want to very briefly go through some of the work that we'll be doing. First of all, zeroing in on the keys. You can see some are lower than others. That's because we've taken the hammers off already to send them off to Renner for replacement hammers and shanks and rollers. This video will be very brief, so just to show you that the key you want to keep the original ivory, which is a nice thing to do. It'll be very difficult to match exactly, and you see this strong line here. We'll try and improve those if we can. And there's a couple missing. We did find 3 inside the piano, which is encouraging, but the grain on the replacement ones, so you can see that's the original grain, I think, and this was a replacement, got a different grain. So we'll do our very best to get them as good as we can. Just briefly over the case, this has a very nice veneer underneath, but as we'll see from the sides of the piano, is very much needing repolishing. And this side here, for instance, is completely dried off, and there's no way it can be matched without stripping the whole piano and repolishing them. We'll end up option to have a lighter colour, which will show a bit more contrast, but we'll try and get this as authentic as possible. It's very difficult to match exactly when you strip the whole piano. It's obviously end up with a slightly different finish. Down this side here too, very, very crazed. And here, the top lid is not so bad, that part of it there, but here you can see it's crazed as well. So no doubt about that needing refinishing. Looking at the inside of the piano, the frame is mottled, and if you can look, it's crazed as well. Let's see if we can get close enough to see the crazing. There we are. Obviously if the outside is redone, then the inside will look incongruous if it has not been redone as well. So and the piano will benefit from that. The strings are extremely rusty. I think we're going to get a better tone if we replace those. The dampers are very dirty. We need to replace the dampers as well, and we'll add a few half wedge dampers, as we mentioned in other videos. And the soundboard is extremely dirty. The soundboard's in quite good condition, though. It may show a few lines opening up when we take the frame off. We'll obviously recondition the soundboard too. The bass strings are very tubby sounding, so they'll be replaced. And Chappell is extremely good maker piano, as good as the small German pianos as well. So round here it has a very strong underlying sound, so when it's restored it'll sound magnificent, I believe. So that's when it's been taken off, but we'll see in a minute. The hammers are letting it down tremendously at the moment. Now the piano's apparently been in the wars recently, as it were, and the casters are completely seized up. My colleague, the removal, says that they'll need replacing, and I don't think there's much doubt about that looking at them. That's just a Swander action, as you get in a lot of British pianos, and as you see, we've already taken these end ones off to be copied, and we've got to weigh them to check what sort of weight hammers we want to put on. These are extremely soft as well as being extremely flat. If you look at that one, for instance, and that makes a very, very dull sound, being both soft and very, very flat. So tone will be transformed. Will be really. I'm looking forward to hearing what it's like, because Chappell's an extremely good make. Please do comment on if you're in the trade. I'd love to hear your comments. We're really looking forward to seeing this piano fully restored. Those are very loose, and that one was broken. So hammer, shanks and rollers as usual. Graphite doing on here. Obviously some felts will need changing. Hopefully the springs are not too bad. So that's a very quick and brief video. This is surprisingly unworn, but we may replace those as well. Replace probably the top whole of this, unscrew it and screw a new one on. So the client's wanting full restoration, so that's very encouraging. I expect the felts here will probably need changing as well. So as I say, I'm not going through this in detail in this video, but obviously we'll go through it in detail when we come to restore the piano. So that's a full restoration of a Chappell grand piano, 5 foot long. That's 150 centimetres, and it is a full restoration, both cosmetically and technically as well. The piano's been in the wars recently, apparently, and even the casters need changing, which is quite unusual, but Obviously there's a huge amount of work we haven't mentioned on this video, so it's quite a brief video. It's at the end of the day, sorry about that, but really looking forward to the finished result, because the piano, the underlying tone, although the hammers are really making it very dull, it will be a fine piano, and as I say, just as good as any other grand piano of this length. So it's a very well constructed piano, so very much looking forward to the end results. So look back if you've seen this video, and I'll make another video hopefully of the finished product. Thank you very much for listening.